when we go to assign, now I'm doing, it's just like the assignment operator. I could have said name equals name copy, and it would have worked exactly the same way. It's, I was about to say it's a little bit more efficient, but it's not really. Okay. But when it does this, name copy, remember, name copy is a string of only 8 characters. It has John Doe in it. So name was 50 up here when we, or actually was 0, right? We cleared it, its size was 0, and its capacity was 50 because clear didn't get rid of those 50 characters. Then I assigned 8 characters to it, so its size is going to be 80. Its capacity is still going to be 50. It doesn't take on the capacity of name copy. It'll still have it all that allocated to it. If it needs to grow, it would grow. So if I did it the other way around and said name copy assign name, so I flip this around, name copy that would have had a capacity of 15 would grow to a capacity of 50 something to accommodate the size of name. Actually, it wouldn't because name is empty right now, but if it was before that, it would have. And then I shrink it back down to fit. And then I show the front character, the J, the back character, the E if it's John Doe. I push back a exclamation point, so now it's John Doe with an exclamation point at the end. I insert right after the last character. So if it's John Doe and there's 8 characters, well, at position 7, I'm going to insert is great. So, well, it's John Doe exclamation point, remember? So it's 9 characters. 9 minus 1 is 8. So right in front of that exclamation point, space is great is going to be inserted. So now it's going to be John Doe is great with an exclamation point. And then I'll erase the space is. So I'm using the erase function to erase and rfind to reverse find, go backwards and find the space is. So it comes back and it goes, okay, where's the space is? Well, it's at position 8. That's what this will return, position 8. That's where it finds it. And I want to erase 3 characters. So starting at this location, 8, erase 3 characters. Replace works very much the same. It's sort of like an erase and an insert. So it goes, okay, replace, starting at wherever it finds great this time, it's going to replace 5 characters. So it goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it takes the whole great. I mean, I could have gotten rid of just 3 characters, 1 character, or whatever. But it finds that, removes 5 characters, and inserts in its place these 7 characters. So it doesn't have to be the same size that you're replacing. It's a find and replace. Find it. How large is it that you're trying to find? And then this is what you're replacing it with. Pop back just removes whatever's on the end. So it was that exclamation point. So right now we have John Doe the third exclamation point here. And now we have pop back, which removes the exclamation point. So now we just have John Doe the third. And we're going to get a substring. So substring starting at position 0, how many characters? Well, if I find the first space, well, that's at 4 again, right? Because John, J is 0, O is 1, H is 2, N is 3. The space is at location 4. So I'm saying starting at position 0 for 4 characters, copy that. So now this whole thing equals the string John, and substring will equal John. And it'll go through. Oh, there's some garbage I left in. And then I use the sequence operator to give me a location within the string. So name copy, which is John Doe, 0. Well, what is 0? 0 is the first position in name copy, John Doe. So this would be the lowercase j. Then to upper forces it to uppercase j, but because I want to assign this to upper changes it to an integer, so I've got to change it back to a character. So I cast it back into a character. And now the initial will be a capital J. And then I'll find, so I'll have to use find last of, the at function, which I could have used this as well, the sequence operator, but the at function, they do the exact same thing, and the plus equals operator, the append. I also use cctypes library to upper, just like I did here. And what am I going to do? I'm going to, from name copy, I'm going to find the last of a space. That's position 4 again. And I add 1 to it, position 5. So at position 5, that's the first character of the last name. So right after the space is the D in Doe. And then I raise it to uppercase, and I make it into a character, and then I append it to initials. So now I've got J and a D. And I display the initials, and then I display the initials as ASCII. If I hadn't done that, what all this would have equaled. So that initials J from initials as a ASCII character with a comma between it, and then the second initials 1. So J is at 0, D is at 1, and a capital D cast into an integer, which should be something like a 68. Remember, because capital A is 65, capital B would be 66, capital C would be 67, and capital D is 68. Again, you don't have to remember all those, values. Okay. And then some operators. So less than, greater than, equal to. So if the initials are less than the name, well, the initials are JD, and the name is John Doe. So you would figure JD is less than John Doe because JO is greater than JD. But that's not necessarily the case. If this was lowercase JD, it would still be less than. Okay, that doesn't work out. But let's say I did John Adams. Okay, then JA would be still less than JO from the John. And that's because this uses uppercase, and uppercase is lower than lowercase, because the uppercase A is at 65, and the lowercase a is at 97, equals 97. So uppercase characters are less than lowercase characters. So this one would be printed. Your initials, JD, are less than your name, John Doe. But if they weren't, then it would go your initials, whatever, are, oops, that's supposed to are greater than. Oh, I messed up something. Well, are greater than your name. Else, your name is equal to your initials. For some reason, it couldn't happen, right? Because it's a space. So it couldn't happen, but, I just put it in there so you can see if it's not greater than, it would be equal to. Of course, I didn't use the equality operator because I didn't need to. And then I had a switch. I looked at the back, which was in name, it was, I have no idea, third. It was the D, right? It's the D in John Doe the third. So it would go D. Is it a period? No. Is it an exclamation point? No. Is it a question mark? No. It's a D, so it went to the default, and it said John Doe the third does not end with an endpoint. But if it ended with a period or an exclamation point or a question mark, it would have displayed one of these other messages. And then I exit.